Hi, welcome replay viewers. Hi Abstract Faces, hi Oz Music. Hi Frank. Welcome, I'm roasting here. It's very hot, so this probably won't be a very long scope because I can't stand in the sun very long. But I'm standing on the site of Kursi. Hi everybody. I'm standing on the site of Kursi, which is said to be the site where Jesus Christ drove the pigs out of the possessed man, sent them into pigs, and they ran down the hill into the Sea of Galilee. And on this site there is now, well, there was built a Byzantine church, and this is the remains of it. This dates way back to about 500 to 600 AD, and then it got destroyed by other countries coming in and destroying. So hi, thank you for joining, welcome, glad you enjoy. I'm just going to show you around this Byzantine church, which is built on the site of in Kursi, which is said to be the site where Jesus cast out the demons from a possessed man and sent them into the pigs. So welcome, I'm just entering the church here, and this is the first time I've been to this site. I don't know a lot about it. I'm sure you can read up far more than me, but it's always good to look at it and then we can read up after if we're not sure. So, not too sure what these are, except that kind of looks a bit like a well in there. If I look down, deep hole. And the same thing the other side. So I'm not too sure what those are about. Yes, and you too. Here's the main part of the church here. And it's very hot today, so I'm just about melting here. So it's a very old church. Dates back to Byzantine era. Now it's also extremely bright, so I probably, if I miss your comments, I'm sorry. I'll just show you this as best I can. But it's too bright to read comments most of the time. Okay, so I'll just show you around while I still can, before I melt. I gather that a monastery was built on this site, and there's a church and part of a monastery, and the sign here tells me that this is an olive press. So that makes it pretty easy to work out what it is. So you can see the big stone for grinding there. It's massive. So just coming in past there, and there you can see there's another stone there. You can see the weight that's put on it in order to crush the olives. Pretty amazing, I think. I'll come up past there. Yeah, nice, isn't it? Yes, I caught that comment. It's very hard to read that. It's very bright, very hot. Now, I'm not too sure what this is about. It looks like a garden that's kind of gone wrong, that's been put in here, that's dried up. So, but if I come across here, then we can see the mosaics a little better, and I can hide in the shade a little bit. It's kind of upside down there, but there's two birds there, and you can see a little bit of the mosaic. Quite amazing to think how old this is. Yeah, extremely hot today. I am just melting. So I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep scoping, but I'm trying to hide in the shade. Oh, where are we? We're at Kursi. It's a place on the eastern side of the Sea of Galilee. Let me see if I can hide in a bit of shade here while I talk. Yeah, it's a mosaic. It dates back to Byzantine era. And it's part of this church here. You can see the arch of the central area of the church there. It's Byzantine. Now, Kursi is said to be the site where Jesus cast the demons out of the man into the swine, and they ran down the hill into the Sea of I can't actually see the Galilee from the sea from here. probably if I climb up to the hilltop I might, but I'm not too sure where to go because it's the first time I've been to this site. So I'm just showing you what I can see here, and then I'll explore a little bit more. Yes, it's said to be the site, and there seems to be logical reasons. So this is on the east side of the Sea of Galilee, Kursi, so it's on the side that's the Golan Heights side. And this isn't a site that a lot of tourists come to because it's one of the smaller archaeological sites. So you probably won't see this on too many scopes, because it's if you catch the scopes done by people on tours, they generally don't come to this site. It's a smaller site. When I was on a tour, we didn't come in here. Instead, we sat at the bottom, just got out of the bus at the bottom of the hill, and kind of looked up and didn't really know what was here. So I've come exploring today. So I'll head out of the church now and just see what else I can see. But it's very bright. If I miss your comments, I'll try and stand in the shade again and see them. But just I can't see a thing. The screen looks pretty black to me at the moment. Now, what do I see here? There's a sign telling me there's some things in this direction. So I don't know what I'm going to be finding. So you're all exploring with me. It's the first time I've been here. It's very pretty here. I can see some now. You're sending some air conditioning. Yeah, please do. Hi, Solange. I'm at a site on the Sea of Galilee, but I can't see the Sea of Galilee. It's Kursi for those joining. And if you know any Christians that would like to see this site, please invite. It's said to be the site where Jesus cast out demons out of a demon-possessed man and sent them into the sites, into a whole load of pigs, and they then raced down the hill into the sea and were ultimately killed in the sea. I've climbed up a little bit. Actually, I can see a little bit better from here. Well, actually, this isn't bad because I can stand in the shade as well. Kursi, Kursi. Now, somewhere over in that direction, behind those plants, is the Sea of Galilee. Where are you at in the world? Israel, on the Sea of Galilee. It's a story from the New Testament, and it looks like I've got to climb up a little bit if I come this way. Well, let me just go into the shade and I'll be able to see your comments. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm heading in the right direction or not, but there's a path and it's leading this way. Okay, if you could repeat your comments. I was in the sun and couldn't see them before. Look, there's nobody else here at the moment, no, just me, and my husband's somewhere around. Now, if you don't believe the New Testament, that's okay, that's up to you, but please don't belittle it for those of us that do believe it, okay? Hi Beth, nice to see you. And for those just joining, I'm at a site called Kursi, where there is a Byzantine church. I'm pointing this at the Byzantine church at the moment. And this is supposed to be the site roughly where Jesus cast the swine out. Sorry, I'm tired and it's hot. They cast the demons out of the man at Legion, and he sent them into the pigs, and they went scuttling down the hill into the Sea of Galilee. So I'm somewhere on the top of the hill. We climbed up to the site, of course, by car, and I'm just wandering around, and not having been here before, I don't quite know what else I'm looking at, but I'm going to explore a little bit. So, oh, hold on. Yes, it is extremely hot. Very, very hot today. So we're just trying to see something today. It is very hot. And yes, I think a lot of people would be taking a nap this afternoon. Now, I can't see your comments again now. And I will try and look at them again in a minute when I get a little bit of shade. But I think there's somebody up here. So I think whoever it is that's there is filming something. So I'll go and see what he's up to. Oh, there's something on the ground there. The thing about Israel is there's lots of little things that are yet unexcavated. So there's probably plenty of things underground here. Is there something worth going up those steps to?
Yes, you wouldn't have it.
Oh. Okay. Now, I'm being given advice that the steps may be a bit, there's too many steps for me, so I think I'll, sorry that I'm limited in the number of steps I can do. Let me show you this instead. Some wildlife. Well, it's not an impressive workout for those who are fit. Unfortunately, I have some walking issues, so I just have to do what I can and leave the rest. I don't know what this tree is, but there's a lot of fruit on there, whatever that fruit is. Anybody know what that is? I'll come back under the shade here for a minute. There's some seats over there. I can sit and talk at any rate. Shade sounds like a really good option at the moment. Here we go, a shady spot. And there's a little bit of a view here. Here we are. Okay, so if I missed any of your questions, now's a good time to answer them. I'm sitting in mostly shade here and just looking at the back of that, the monastery. I haven't got any water with me, but we're not all that far from the car, and I had a good drink before I came out. Oh, you got an idea of what the fruit is? Now, I'm fine, but it's well over 30 degrees. I'm not too sure what, but it feels like a sort of maybe 34 or something in that region. When it does get hot, the area around the Sea of Galilee is particularly difficult because it's in so much of a valley below sea level that it gets quite humid here. So I've actually got perspiration pouring off me at the moment. Oh yes, now I can tell you a little bit about the church. Let me get the little guide that I was given out, and I can read you a little bit about it. Oops, sorry if it's wobbling a little bit, but we get given these little things every time you go in a national park in Israel. So Kursi National Park. Kursi is located east of the Sea of Galilee, 7 kilometers north of Ein Gev, at the junction leading to the Golan Heights via Givat Yoav. According to Christian tradition, Kursi is the site of the miracle of the swine mentioned in the New Testament, Luke 8:26-39 and Matthew 8:23-34. It is identified with Gergesa or Gerasa, which is the country of the Gadarenes, which is over against Galilee. Here the New Testament relates, after Jesus had exorcised some devils from the body of a man, they possessed a herd of swine grazing nearby. The swine then raced into the Sea of Galilee and were drowned. Archaeological investigators identify the site as the ancient Kursi, mentioned in the Talmud as a centre of idol worship. And of course, if it's a Christian site, that's how they would regard it. In 1970, the remains of an ancient structure were accidentally uncovered during road construction at Kursi. The site was excavated by various people from the Department of Antiquity and Museums, who unearthed the remains of the largest known Byzantine monastery in the Holy Land. The monastery, which had a church and was surrounded by walls, measured 145 by 123 meters. While the monastery was being constructed, additional excavations were conducted at a rock on a nearby hill. Here, a chapel paved with 3 separate layers of mosaics was found. Other finds include columns, a damaged inscription, a stone bench for viewing the Sea of Galilee, and the excavators assume that the miracle of the swine occurred near the rock. The monastery and church were probably built in the 15th century CE. The church was built in the basilica form with 2 rows of columns which divided into a nave and 2 side aisles. And it goes on a little bit about that. Oh, in 1614, during the Persian invasion of the Holy Land, the church was damaged. Many of the other buildings were destroyed and the area of settlement was substantially reduced. So it was then destroyed again later on. So that's a little bit about it. Okay, my husband's just filling me in on a little bit of what's somewhere else in this area, but he says the steps are too much for me. So there we go. So this is just the remains of the view at the top. Any questions about it? I think that's all from that. It goes into a little bit more detail, but we'll leave it there. 614 damage, not 1614, 614. 614. Well, this side of the lake, I understand, was more Gentile area. So that can explain it. This side, of course, are where the cities of the Decapolis started, and we're not all that far from Beit Shean. That's actually on the other side of the Jordan River, but it's the only city of the Decapolis which is on the west of the Jordan River. So I'm on the east of the Jordan River now, and the cities of Decapolis are south and east of where I am on this side of the Jordan. So Decapolis means 10 cities, and they're mentioned in the New Testament, but they were Roman cities. Well, I think they're not here for 2 reasons. It's a very small site. There are much bigger sites that tourists go to just a little bit further around, but I've done them on previous tours. So if you watch out for Christian tours, you'll see Bethsaida and Capernaum and places like that. But I've already been to those, so I'm exploring on this trip sites that we didn't do on major tours. Time here is about 12 minutes past 4 in the afternoon, and it's the hottest part of the day on a very hot day. Any other questions while I'm sitting in the shade? It's pretty here. No, we drove around the lake. We've got to hire a car. Yes, it's also the Sabbath, so if there are any Jewish people, they wouldn't come here on the Sabbath, of course. But Jewish people may not visit this site anyway, because it is a Christian monastery. Oh, look, you're welcome. I'm happy to share what I can, and happy to talk about the things that I do know about, but there's plenty of people that know more than me, of course. But it's nice to share what we can, isn't it? But I'll try and scope from somewhere along the Sea of Galilee in a little while. You just can't see it beyond all those trees there, but it's actually in the direction I'm pointing at now. Across, behind all these plants, is the Sea of Galilee. Yeah. Is it hot in Jerusalem, Solange? Oh, wait a minute, you're in Netanya, aren't you, this weekend? Is it hot there too? You enjoyed the boat trip? Yeah, I did too. That was lovely. Oh, which reminds me, I made a mistake on it. I was so tired that day. I mentioned Caesarea rather than Capernaum. I knew it began with C. The centre of Jesus' ministry on that area that I was looking at was Bethsaida, Chorazin, and Capernaum. And I think at some point I said Caesarea by accident. Yeah, the birds are lovely. They're in the trees above me. Can't see any at the minute, otherwise I'll try and show you them. I can see it. I can hear crickets chirping as well. Oh, look, that's lovely of you. Thank you. You're at the beach. Yeah, good weather for the beach, I reckon. Oh, there is somebody else on this side. Oh, look, here comes somebody else. He's just walking past. Of course, he could be a gardener here or something. But this is quite a good area to sit. Hello, Shamshon. You'll have to watch the beginning to see the church. I'm just sitting in the shade because it's so hot at the moment. Okay, well, look, I think I'm going to finish the scope here. Oh, we're still talking. Keep talking for a minute if you want to. And I'm happy just to show you the view that's here. Hello, Ralph. Oh, that's nice of you. We're still travelling. For those who don't know who we are, my husband and I are Australians. We're travelling in Israel for the month of April and May. And we're visiting all kinds of sites. We're Christians, so we are visiting Christian sites, but also Jewish sites, Muslim sites. I scoped a mosque the other day, and just sites of interest to people. It's our 4th trip here, so we've already visited a lot of the Christian sites, so we're just exploring around all different places at the moment. And for the coming few days, we're located in Tiberias, which is on the Sea of Galilee. So we've got a hire car and we're exploring this area at the moment. So anywhere in the north and in the Golan Heights is for the next few days. Okay, well, I think I'm going to stop the scope and say goodbye and see you in the next scope. Okay, God bless. Bye bye. Yeah, if you want to invite anyone before I've finished, please do. Okay, those joining, oh, yes, look, I've saved all my scopes into Catch. So if they've gone from Periscope, look in Catch under FriendlyAus. And also, there's a couple of places where I did not get a signal. And I've did a video and saved them to YouTube, so look in YouTube under FriendlyAus as well. Now you can find the links to those on my profile here in Periscope, so search those out and you'll see the previous things that I've done here. Okay. Yes, okay, yes, we'll be going to the empty tomb before too long, in May. That's right, catch.me/FriendlyAus. Thanks, Solange. Okay, for those joining, I'm just finishing the scope, so watch it again from the start. Watch the replay. It's very hot here, so I'm not going to prolong my time here. So, thanks for joining. Follow me as I travel around the Holy Land and all of Israel and parts of the Palestinian Authority too. God bless and bye-bye.